Welcome to Lead Pods, the official leadership podcast from USMB for pastors and church leaders, where our goal is to increase our impact together.
Hello, my friends. Welcome to the USMB Lead Pods. My name is Matt Ersman. As always, really grateful to be your host. Guys, we're up to episode 77, which is hard to believe, but I've got a really cool story and two friends I'm excited to introduce you to if you don't know yet. Today we're talking to old friend of the pod, Terry Hunt. Many of you know Terry. He's been on with us several times, and many of you probably know him as well, the district minister out in the Eastern Conference of USMB. But one new friend that many of you probably don't know is Pastor Alex Mutabazi. He is an MB pastor in Nashville. He comes from the Congo, and he's leading a church there in Nashville. And we've had several episodes now where I've had the chance to meet and talk with some of these immigrant leaders who have come to the U.S. somewhat recently. And to me, it's just so cool to see how God is bringing together people from the Congo and all other parts of Africa together in the U.S. and into our USMB family in ways that we can work together and learn from each other. And I'm just so encouraged. Every time I hear one of these stories, I just think it's great. I love the chance for us to work together in new ways. And Pastor Alex is a great example of that. He and Pastor Terry have a really cool friendship where they've worked together on many projects now. When Alex speaks about Pastor Terry, you can just hear the love and the affection and the care that they have for each other. And it's really a cool thing to hear. So, like many immigrants, Alex has a pretty crazy, a pretty powerful story of what his life was like in the Congo and ways that God led him to the States and how he's become established and leading his own church in Nashville now. And as you'll hear, he has a large family, and at one point he had pretty much nothing, and he's been able to kind of work his way to the U.S., work his way up, and he's really thriving in Nashville with a really great church. It's just a really great story. So we'll take a quick break to hear from a sponsor, and then I'm really excited for you to hear the story of Pastor Alex Mutabazi and his great MB church in Nashville.
Deciding on the right college is a big deal. At Fresno Pacific University, they get it. They are a private, nonprofit Christian university where your academic success is their priority. The Mennonite Brethren roots run deep from the classroom to the field. Professors connect you to research and internships. Financial aid makes your education affordable, and with their 4-year guarantee, you'll graduate on time to launch your career. Visit fpu.edu for more information about their undergrad, graduate, and degree completion programs. Fresno Pacific University. Possible happens here.
All right, my friends, well, we've got a conversation I'm really excited to share with you today. We've got two guests with us. One is I won't call him old. I'll call him a veteran of the podcast. Our friend Terry Hunt's been on several times. You might hold the reward for the most recurring guest, Terry. It's good to have you on with us again.
Yeah.
So Terry's a pastor in the Eastern District. He's the district minister there, and we were just chatting. He's on pretty much every MB convention or every board, everything. So Terry, thanks for being with us again today. And a new friend that some of you may not know, I'm excited to introduce you to Alex Mutabazi. Alex is a pastor in Nashville, comes from the Congo. Got a really cool story that we're going to dive into today. So Alex, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Alex, I briefly ran into you at convention last summer, and you introduced yourself as a pastor from Nashville. And I said, I didn't know we had any MB churches in Nashville. So grateful to be with you today and for you to share your story. So let's start with this, Alex. So you're from the Congo. You were born there originally. I think you moved to the States, was it around 2016 or so? Is that right?
You're right.
So why don't you tell us what was your life like in the Congo? I know, there's a lot going on in that part of the world. You saw a lot of conflict. Why don't you walk us through what was your life in Congo like before you came here?
Okay. Thank you for having me today. And I'm super happy being with you and my dad, Hunt, the man of God who I love so much. Is my dad. He's my mentor. He's my everything here. So I'm super happy to be with you. So I'm Alex Mutabazi, father of 8 kids with 1 grandson, married with 1 woman, of course.
Mm-hmm. That's good. You're off to a good start.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, as you asked me, in Congo, I was born in the Congo province called South Kivu, in a village called Lugezi, in a district called Fizi. So one day growing there, my dad was a pastor. I grew up in God, house of God, in the Sunday school, choirs, worship teams. And because of the war, we was supposed to move from my country to Rwanda, short time, then to Uganda. So I spent it in Uganda 11 years.
Mm.
In Uganda, one day I was sleeping, as I mentioned in my story, and I saw in a vision, a man came to me and tells me to start a ministry.
Mm.
That was kind of was preaching in that country where you cannot see your pastor without having something like an envelope, some money to get your pastor. So, and that time the man told me, go and start church. And he even told me the scripture in it, Titus chapter 2, verse 11, the grace of God who give us have appeared. Then it was tough season, tough life to me and my wife and my children. We didn't have a job with a refugee status, not even rent, not even money for the school fees for my kids.
Mm.
But on that period, God called me to start a church.
Mm.
So where I started the church within 11 years, then by the grace of God, the UN picked me up and give me the chance to come to US. And 2016, the God opened up the door to me to come to USA, and we came. So in Congo, it's where I grew up. It's where I studied all my studies from primary school, secondary school, the university. It was in Congo. It's where I started like ministering in church, being like choir leader and worship leader. My dad teaches me how to read the Bible since I was in primary school. He was my best friend. We used to sit together and giving me the Bible in my language and read. And he's the one who started teaching me the Bible, actually. So he introduced the Bible to me. He used to tell me the Israelite stories when they was in Egypt. That's why I loved so much God and reading the Bible. That's my passion. Like I feel like reading the Bible is something. It's like a food to me.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't read the Bible, like I feel like I need something. I'm lacking something.
Mm.
My dad, he teaches me to read the Bible. So that was my life in my country. The rebels came to our home and took everything. They killed my mom, and we were supposed to move. Even they killed my big brother. So by chance, by the grace of God, we survived and we moved from Congo to Uganda, as I said. Then in Uganda, by the grace of God, it was a tough life. Myself and my wife, we are supposed to carry something they called bitenge in Congo, Burundi, Rwanda. They call bitenge like it's a clothes for women. Either me or my wife was supposed to move province by province to sell it. Like you go to the shop, you beg them, they give you, it's like a loan. Then that bitenge, then you move within. If you get a chance, they can buy some and you came back, we go to store and buy some food. By the grace of God, we didn't spend a day without food. Even if we struggled to get our food, but we get it. And our kids, sometimes they charge them from school because of not having school fees, of course. By the grace of God, I was supposed to go there, either me or my wife, to tell them how the situation is. They was in government schools. Sometimes they allow them to study, even if there is no school fees, there is no food to carry at school. But we survived in that situation. But God gave me anointing when I was preaching, like in the country, African countries, being a refugee, it's like something which is anyone cannot take us as serious things. They look at you, they minimize you in some, I don't know how to say. You are nothing. They can ignore you in this whatever situation. If you say something, they don't understand you. But because of the anointing God gave me, I was preaching the gospel of God, and people can come and listen to me, join the church, and even now the church is still there. It's great. So we have seen the hand of God upon our life and the ministry. When I was still in Uganda, one day I was praying. God told me, you will go in USA. A man came, my wife, she was on Prayer Mountain. There is a place in Uganda where people can go to pray, the mountain. So she went there to pray. We was having in a bad situation, like the owner of the house where was renting for the church. He was telling us to move out and have money to rent another building. So I told her to go to the mountain to pray. Then I can stay home looking for something, food for the kids. When he get there, God sent a person, I can call him a prophet. Then it tells him that because of that church you started in Uganda, in that situation, God have opened up the door for you in USA.
Wow.
So that was like a pillar, a strong pillar in our lives. We started praying. On that time, I have twins on my kids. So we decided at 3 morning to wake up, all of us in the house, to go to church and take some times for praying.
Oh, wow.
The kids could go to school after having that session of prayers. It was like every day, apart from Saturday and Sunday. Like from Monday to Friday, was supposed to wake up at 3 morning. My wife would carry one baby, and my daughter carry another one. Then we move to the church for prayers.
Wow.
In that building, there was a witchcraft, like a witch doctor. I don't know if you understand that.
Yes.
So we was in the first floor, downstairs, there was a witch doctor.
Okay.
So when we started praying on that program of prayers, he moved out.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, Lord.
He moved out. After moving out, God showed us a miracle. Then the owner of the building, he says, now you can stay there.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Wow.
So it was really amazing. God continued to show us a hand of God. That we continue to see the hand of God on ministries. Can you imagine being a pastor refugee, having the church, praying, a witch doctor moving out, the owner of the building changing his mind.
Yeah.
You can stay. They stay there until we get some money to buy our own land. So it was amazing. So we received many things from God, which I can't even explain. Just being there without no income, zero income, but you pay rent, you pay school fees, you rent for myself, rent for the church.
Yeah, right.
If I think one day I will show you the picture of Uganda and my picture here, the photos. You can't even imagine that it was me.
Oh my.
Yeah.
It was like a skeleton.
Wow.
I remember one day I went to Kigali. They invited me in Rwanda for preaching. I didn't have nothing. Like I have one pant and one shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
When I reached Kigali, in the place where I was supposed to go to preach. In the morning, I wake up and put it on my shirt and my pants, having my Bible, going to church. Then the person called me, you can't go and preach when you are like that.
Mm.
He was supposed to go and borrow someone's suit so I can go to preach.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Uh-huh.
And
Man.
when I at church, I started preaching. I tell you guys, the hand of God came upon myself. The anointing of God came upon my life.
Mm.
The sick was getting healed.
Mm.
It was amazing.
Wow.
So that was my life in my country and in Uganda until 2016. When I came here, I found a man of God called Terry Hunt.
Mm. Mm.
Since that day, I was introduced to him from a man called Mitchell Proud. He's in, what district is it, Pastor?
He's in the Central District.
Central District. It was in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's a time when I met Terry Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Then I feel connected to him.
Mm.
I don't know what happened, but in my heart, I feel connected to him, and I feel joining the Eastern District. It was the North Carolina District. Well,
Right. At that time, it was, yes.
Carolina, yeah.
yes. And since I met him, I can assure you something changed in my life.
Mm.
And wherever I tell him something about it, I saw the hand of God moving it.
Mm. Mm.
I don't know why.
So is that why I keep hearing you say hand of God, hand of God? Is that why you named your church the Hand of God?
Yeah.
Seems like an appropriate name. Yeah.
It does. It does. And I've been with Alex for several years now, and I should say Pastor Alex, and I'm just now catching from his testimony that he keeps mentioning the hand of God was in this, the hand of God moved in that. And now it hit me, Pastor, why you named your church the Hand of God.
Because honestly, it sounds like kind of miracle after miracle that led you to where you are, right? Like escaping the rebels, the horrible thing that with your mom and your brother, getting the building. I mean, it really is miracle after miracle that led you here. Is that right?
That's right. So if in my stories, my life, it's the hand of God. Nothing I did. I did nothing. If from day one when they killed my mom and escaped the rebels from my country to Uganda, so it was the hand of God. I did nothing. Can you imagine? I have zero income.
Right.
With 7 kids on that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And plus rent of my church, rent of myself. It was only the hand of God.
Wow.
Going preaching when you don't have even a clothes to wear. But the anointing of God came upon your life and you preach, keep understand what you are preaching. That's why it is hand of God on my life. Only God, only God, only God. So I can, sorry for that. I might feel like emotional because of that. When I came to know Pastor Terry, as I said, whatever prayer requests I give to him. I remember one day I was supposed to go to Cincinnati conference. I don't know if he can remember that. I called him and I texted him that picture of my son. I was in a hospital.
Right.
It was ICU. But he prayed for me and we came out from there. It's many steps, many prayers, requests. When I called Pastor Terry, there is this. I was wondering, I think before last week, he called me he texted me in all morning, asking me how I feel, how I am and church. I was wondering why this man of God keeping me in his mind. Mm. That thing touched my heart. I didn't tell him nothing, but it touched my heart. So I'm really praising God because of USMB Foundation. So I get something. I get something from me. So that's my life. If you have any question, feel free to ask me.
Well, yeah, I've got a bunch of questions, but hey, first, I want to hear from Pastor Terry a little bit. So, from your perspective, Terry, how did you get to know Alex? Maybe walk us through kind of your side of the beginning of this kind of partnership.
Yeah, at that time, Rick Eschbach was the district minister of the Central District Conference of MB churches, and Rick and I worked together a lot as DMs, as all the DMs do. And Rick was telling me about a group of Congolese immigrants that were here in the U.S. that had already established churches and was wanting to join our family of Mennonite Brethren churches. And so he introduced me to Claude Tamba. Did I get that right, Alex? I think that's
Yes.
And Brother Claude could speak English. And so we began to have conversations, and he told me that there was a church in Nashville, Tennessee, and he kind of introduced Pastor Alex and I together when we was there in Cincinnati. And we come to find out that there was more Congolese churches in the Ohio area as well, Hamilton, Columbus, and in that area. So we began to chat, as we Americans say. We began to chat, have conversations, and Pastor Alex, it was reciprocal. His spirit and my spirit just seemed to connect with each other as if we were meant to be in this fellowship together, in ministry together. And so we began to continue our conversation as I began to meet Henry Nagalo, and Pastor Nicole, Pastor Yvette, Pastor Herman, and all of these brothers and sisters who were working. The relationship just began to gel. And so Rick and I began to talk about where these churches was located, and from a geographical location, they would be a better fit in, at that time, quote, the North Carolina district.
Right.
So, yeah, we realized that we couldn't remain as the North Carolina district. We had to change our name. And so the Central District, Rick being heavily involved, was able to come alongside and to help us graft these churches into what now is called the Eastern District Conference of Mennonite Brethren Churches. So there's a church in Maine, Portland, Maine, Pastor Kayambo. There's churches in Ohio, and now in Tennessee. There's a church in Kentucky who's at the point of joining our family. And there's 2 Congolese churches in Georgia that are looking to join as well. And then Pastor Alex has introduced me to another pastor here in Durham, North Carolina, that has a congregation. So these churches are well connected, but as you can see, Matt, and I hope our audience can hear the passion that Pastor Alex has to win souls to Jesus Christ and to really trust him. And so when he says, God did this for me, or if it hadn't been for God's hand upon me, this would have never happened. I'm learning that the faith that the Congolese people have expressed is so much deeper than my own faith, because Matt, in America, if you and I need something, we can get in the car and run to Walmart or to the mall or wherever, Costco's or wherever, and pick it up.
Yeah.
People who come here with nothing, they cannot jump in the car and do that. So they have to get up at 3:00 in the morning, and they have to go to church, and they have to pray and pray and pray and ask God to give that to them. And then they give God the glory. So that's how energized I am in working with people of faith, like Pastor Alex.
But I love, it's just really encouraging to me. Like you said, Terry, the more Congolese leaders that I get to interact with, I am just so impressed. I'm so inspired. I'm so encouraged by their faith. And I think they have so much to offer. We have so much to offer. I think there's the partnership. There's just so much potential there. So Alex, first of all, just thank you for sharing your story with us. And it is just so encouraging and just amazing to hear how you've got this far. But I know you're not done yet. I know you're active in ministry. You've got a great church I'm excited to learn more about. So before we go any further, can you tell us about your church in Nashville? Tell us about His Grace. Is that right? His Grace Christian Life?
Yeah.
Is that what you call it? Tell us about your church.
Before I tell you about church, I remembered something. In my life, my first car, I drive my first car at 45 years old.
Oh, wow. Okay. Uh-huh.
My first car here in USA.
Wow.
Here in Nashville, Tennessee.
Wow.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure your life looks drastically different than your life in the Congo. And I want to hear more about that too. So, yeah.
Exactly. So, and something that put it in my heart, even last Sunday, yesterday was preaching about it. This is about the grace of God who can forgive the sin of man. I said, I have a topic called, we have a covenant of forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. God put it there, the covenant. We have the right to be forgiven wherever we confess our sins.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the best, that's the base of my preaching.
Mm-hmm.
Even that's the man who came on my dream, he told me, go and tell people that everything they have, it's because of my grace.
Mm-hmm.
They came without nothing.
Yeah.
What they are now because of my grace.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the big point of my calling. So in Uganda, people use, as I said, you can't not go and see your pastor without having some envelope.
Mm.
Oh.
Yes. I remember one person, he was sick and was supposed to go and see his pastor for prayers.
Mm-hmm.
He spent 3 months.
Wow.
Then he decided to act as a mad person so he can see his pastor. Listen to that. Then he went to church and acting as a mad person. The ushers grab him and take him to the pastor, to the office of the pastor, and pray for him. Then when the pastor, it's something, I don't know what to say. When the pastor started praying for him, he said, Pastor, I'm not a mad person. I did this so I can see you.
Wow. Man, that's crazy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So God told me to go and preach that the grace of God who can forgive every sin of person.
Yeah.
Okay.
So tell us a little bit about your church.
Okay. My church here in Nashville, we started, when I came in Nashville, I joined a church called the Rehoboth. There is a lady who started the church here in Nashville. Mm-hmm. She told me that don't start church after knowing that I am a pastor. He told me, don't start a church, but lead this church I have.
Okay.
I don't have a calling of being a pastor, so you can lead this. When I told my wife, we need to pray for the guidance of God to stay in this church. When we were still praying, something came like to her, to that pastor. Then he said, you cannot be a lead of this church. I have my own vision. She changed her mind. Then I told her, it's okay. You started your church. Be there, stay there. So then I decided to move out. Then I started His Grace Christian Life Church in Nashville with like 10 people, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
It was 2017.
Okay.
By that, we started praying and having every Saturday night prayers, intercessions. Like there's intercessors from church who every Saturday night, they came here to my home. I have a prayer room. I moved everything. Then we made it for the prayers only. So we started praying on that from that time up to now. We have intercession every Saturday. We decided to move the intercession to the church so we can have Saturday service evening.
Okay.
Yeah, we announced it last Sunday, and last Saturday we started. People came.
Hmm.
Yeah. So as people continue coming to church, yes, we struggled for that building.
Mm-hmm.
We started, and something which God showed us before we started the church. We was praying for the building.
Mm-hmm.
On the prayers, we was 6 person in the prayers. So one of us saw a vision across in church. Then he said, Pastor Terry, you can remember this. Then he told us, the guy told us, the church, the building where we fellowship from, there is a sign of cross inside the building.
Mm-hmm.
Not outside, but inside the room where you will pray from.
Mm-hmm.
Pastor Terry, remember the cross in our church?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
So one day I went like just looking the place, the building where you can get chance to pray for. Then I entered on that building for the Baptist church. Automatically, the secretary found there. She told me, let me show you a chapel we have if it can be good to you. Then I said, okay. We went to the chapel. When I entered in that chapel, I found that sign of cross inside the room.
Wow, that's cool. Hand of God again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us again, Alex, I'm just not very familiar with Nashville, specifically your area of Nashville. Are there a lot of Congolese immigrants in your area? Are your church primarily immigrants, or what? Tell us about the makeup of your church.
There is a lot of Congolese and a lot of churches. I think Pastor Terry saw it when he came we had an ordination service. Pastor Terry was here. So I invited them. We was full, the room was full. There was many Congolese. Yeah, okay, we have like a good relationship with them at churches from Congo. I'm still trying to see if they can join me in MB Foundation, see if they can be okay to joining me. But there is 3 churches here in Nashville, Congolese churches, apart from our church. There's another 3 Congolese churches. Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. So can you just tell me when people come from the Congolese, or maybe they're from Uganda, or if they're immigrating, maybe they get settled in or around Nashville, how do they kind of stumble across you? Are you finding them? What are some of their needs when they kind of get established if they're in Nashville or wherever they are? How are you able to kind of help serve some of these immigrants who are coming?
Oh, there is like 3 countries which have African countries which have Congolese refugees.
Okay.
There's Uganda, there is Kenya, there's Rwanda.
Okay.
Those countries, and Tanzania too, I forgot.
Okay.
So, and if you are in the UN in Africa, like as a refugee, they ask you where you want to go. If you have some brothers and some friends who can receive you. And the Congolese, he cannot come here in Nashville without having his friend or his brother.
Okay.
That's how people came, join the churches, the Congolese churches here in the US.
Okay.
It's because they have someone there. Apart from myself, I didn't ask anyone here. I prayed God to take me wherever I'm supposed to be.
Okay.
So that's how our Congolese join some churches. It's because they are friends, brothers, sisters, like that.
Yeah. Cool.
But something different to me, we have Rwandese people in our church. We have Burundian, we have Nigerian, and we have Congolese too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a kind of mixed church.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And I guess, Terry, I want to hear kind of your perspective on this. I think obviously this is going to be the new normal in America, right? We're going to have a lot of immigrant communities. It's going to be it's going to be effective for all of us if we learn to work together, to serve each other, to get these communities together. So now that you're kind of leading several of these immigrant churches, what are you seeing kind of from a leadership level? What are you seeing ways we can work together? What are you learning as you get to know some more of these pastors and on these immigrants?
Yeah. As we talked earlier, our relationship is reciprocal because we are learning from the immigrant churches that are coming into the U.S. I'm seeing a great passion for getting the message of the gospel of Jesus out to not just immigrants here in the United States, but also for Americans. And so I see a hunger for learning how to survive here in the U.S.
Yeah.
And so we are working with churches just on basic things like setting up a budget, financial accountability, the structure of a church, how to structure a church. I'm finding that if the Congolese have had connection with MBs in Congo or in their native country, that they already are familiar with our confession of faith. And most of them probably know it better than we do. And so theologically and from a doctrine standpoint, they are very, very sound, a group of people coming to us. And it's not like they're, I would say, people that do not have a relationship or know about MBs. So that is helpful. It's just a matter of getting them acclimated into the American society, helping them with the initials or essentials, I should say, of, finding homes, finding jobs, resources that will help and can help them. Pastor Alex knows churches here have been taking up new and gently worn or used clothing, and we'll bring a van load or a trailer load of items to Pastor Alex, and he will be able to give them out to, people that are coming into the United States with nothing. We do the same for Henry, the folks in Ohio, and of course up in Portland, Maine. We've been able to give away 3 vans for transportation because transportation is a big issue for the Congolese churches. The people don't have, access to transportation. They don't have driver's license. They don't have jobs. And so we're working with them on the basics, getting acclimated, getting the churches up and going, teaching them how to give first fruits and to become self-sustainable. That is the key here in surviving as a church in America, is becoming self-sustainable.
Yeah. And Alex, I'm sure just the little bit that we've heard today, and I'm a little bit familiar with your story, just the night and day difference of what your life was like in Uganda to America. And even just like you mentioned, you didn't drive until you were 45. I can imagine if you're coming here, the culture is just so night and day different, right? If someone comes to America, they step foot here, probably don't have a job, finances are probably very limited, don't know the culture very well. I can imagine just having like a friendly pastor like you to help them figure out America. I mean, that's got to be a huge blessing, right? Is that part of what you're doing, is helping people just get acclimated to a new culture?
Yes, sir. It's what we are doing. Like recently, there is 2 families who came from Africa. They join us. So I'm supposed to show them everything. Everything from A up to Z.
Sure.
They don't know nothing. Even if Pastor Terry had my WhatsApp, he can see that there is a woman who gave back last week from our church. So that I'm supposed to be with them and working, doing my daily job, and helping them. It's kind of struggling, even if it is a blessing, but it's kind of struggling. So you have to be with them. You have to take them to the stores. They don't have a driving license. They don't know how to drive. Same thing. So like it's hard. But that.
And so that's, again, I'll put a plug in for the CORD program that Matt, you're familiar with, that Henry and others have been talking about. This is the reason why we came up with this program, because pastors like Alex is working 2, sometimes 3 jobs and trying to pastor church, trying to help acclimate new arrivals into our country. And so hopefully the CORD program will help pastors like Pastor Alex be able to maybe work one job and then use that extra time to be able to help grow the church and work with newcomers coming in the church. And so that's why that's important. But Pastor Alex, I would like for you to also mention, as Matt was asking what it feel like to come to this country from your home country and being able to drive for the first time, you were able to purchase a home.
Yes.
Yeah, it's about that.
For the first time that you now own your own home.
That's
not just my own home. My first home in USA, the first country in the world.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
You cannot imagine that.
Yeah. With 8 kids, you need your own house, Alex.
8 kids with 1 grandson. I have my own car. My wife, she has her own car. My daughter, she has her own car in my house in USA.
That's amazing. That's awesome, Alex. Very cool.
Yeah.
It's something better in my life.
Yeah.
That's the hand of God.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's grace.
Yeah.
Okay, well, our time's going really fast here, Alex. You have an amazing story. I'd love, we could talk for hours, I'm sure. But I would love, before we start to wrap up here, I want to hear from you, Alex. What if for all the MB pastors and leaders who are listening today, how can we be praying for you, for your church family, for Nashville, for the other immigrant churches? What are some of the biggest things on your mind that we can be praying for? And maybe, core program or other things that we can actually tangibly get involved and help you. What are your biggest needs that we can maybe work together on?
The biggest need I have, and it is a challenge to me, even now, I was telling Pastor Terry Hart. As church, whatever we have, like an event to my church, I don't know what God has given me a grace. People came. If we have an event, people came and full in my room. Then those Baptist people get like jealous. I don't know why. Now they increased the rent of the building.
Okay.
We are struggling about building. We need our own building. That's the big problem I have. If we get that, it's going to be, I would like to add something on what Pastor Terry said. Like yesterday, I didn't attend my class because of we lost some person. Like there is a woman in my church. Her husband is still in Africa. Then he died yesterday. They called when I was about to go to my 2-week class. I'm having like 3 or 4 jobs. I have to work for my family. I have to work for the church. I have to help those people, the newcomers. Sometimes it's 2 or 3. Like you found like being there for 2 families, it's very hard.
Yeah. You got a full plate.
Yeah.
You need some help, and you need probably some financial support. There's a lot of needs, but
absolutely.
So much potential, right? Like I love your heart for the ministry, Pastor Alex. I love how you're caring for your community. We need to come around and support you. So thank you for sharing those, and hopefully we can be a good family and help you with that.
Absolutely. And so the CARD program actually works towards helping in these 3 areas. One's education, and he's part of the TUMI, which is the Urban Institute that we have here. We have a satellite campus here in North Carolina that we're working out of. Then for the pastoral's personal need, the CARD helps with that, with a $6,000 a year stipend to help with his finances. And then there's a facility part of that as well. Every Congolese church except one, Matt, that's in the Eastern District Conference, rents their facility from another church.
Yeah.
And they can't have church but a couple hours on Sunday, and that's it.
Right.
So the rest of the week, like Alex says, if he has something extra, he has to pay for it. And what they're renting for is astronomical anyway. So part of my job is to go in and to negotiate rent for these churches so that we can make it feasible for them to rent. So the CARD program, we try to address all 3 of the needs that Pastor Alex just mentioned. So if the existing American churches can find it in their heart to give to the CARD program, we'll be able to help more pastors like Pastor Alex become a more viable pastor in his role in helping immigrants and the new people coming into our country.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Terry, thanks for your leadership there. I think, again, I'm just excited about the potential. So much potential. Like if I project where we might be in like 10 years, I'm excited because there's just so much good that can come out of these kind of relationships. So, okay, well, our time's gone fast. We need to wrap up. But Alex, I got one more question for you. I just want to get to know you on a little personal basis a little bit more. I hear you're a big Tennessee Titans fan. First of all, is this true? Are you a Titans fan?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm a Chiefs guy. I'll try to still be your friend after this. But okay, is American football? You like American football? Was that a big introduction to you? Is that just part of the Nashville culture? Tell me about your love for the Titans.
Oh, actually, myself, no, but my kids all big. Our fan of.
That's awesome. Wait, so is there still some hope? Maybe I can turn you into a Chiefs fan. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, well, we got to wrap up here. We've had a great conversation here. For folks listening, I encourage you to check out the USMB website. There's information about the CORE program there. We'd love for a bunch of you guys to get plugged into that, so please check that out. Alex, I'm just so grateful for you, man. Thank you for your leadership, for your church. You're doing great things. I'm excited to hear more and more great things for that. And Terry, for your leadership as well. I know you've got your hand in a million things, but thanks for your passion for helping pastors like Alex get their churches off the ground. There's great things happening.
Absolutely. And Matt, thank you for what you're doing because you're able to tell our story in a different way. And so we really appreciate this platform that you've given us with this podcast and the USMB conference for allowing us to be able to share in our family.
Yeah, that's awesome. We'll keep working together, right? That's the best way to get things done.
Yes.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Alex, great to spend some time with you today. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much, Pastor Terry. He's a good man. I really love him.
Thank you, brother. God bless.
I guess we'll keep him around.
Yeah.
Parents, perhaps you have felt the need now more than ever for your teen to have some good Christian fellowship, getting out into the sunshine with friends, meeting challenges confidently head on, and learning how to trust in God's lead for their journey ahead. USMB Youth is starting a new national summer camp for high school students called Ascent. It's coming up in June at Glorieta, New Mexico. Your teen will get multiple opportunities to not only learn more about God, but learn more about themselves. And even that can be hard work. But just like making the ascent up a mountain is hard work, it's worth it when you make it to the top. So let's help your teens make the ascent together. Go to usmbyouth.com/ascent for more information.
Well, it really was an honor for me to get to know Pastor Alex, and I just love hearing how God has been at work in his life with the hand of God on him as a pastor, as a church leader, just so encouraging. So thanks to Pastor Alex and to Pastor Terry for having the initiative to look out for pastors like Alex and kind of investing in this new generation of leaders, especially these immigrant leaders. Again, I just love how stories like this come together. And we've mentioned several times whenever we interviewed these immigrant church leaders, just the depth of their faith, the passion of their faith. I just love the story that Alex shared about waking up his kids every morning at 3 o'clock to travel to church to pray. That kind of fervor is something that is often lacking in our churches, and I just love that that pastors like Alex are bringing that into our USMB church family. So Pastor Terry mentioned the CORD program several times. If you listen to the podcast regularly, you've probably heard about that. So if you, as a church leader or as an individual, would like to get involved with the program that has helped sponsoring some of these initiatives to help out these new emerging USMB church plants and these upcoming church leaders, we of course would love your help. You can learn more about that if you check out usmb.org and look for information about the CORD program. So I encourage you to check that out. Well, as always, thank you so much for listening. Hope you have a great day, great rest of your week, and we'll look forward to catching you next time here on Lead Pods.
Thanks for listening to Lead Pods. Make sure you don't miss an episode by subscribing to our show wherever you're listening today. Learn more by visiting usmb.org. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We'll see you next time as we learn more practical tools to increase our impact together.